Okay, so recently we've been working on some problems like this one right here, and I just want to give you an example of a solution that you can go with. So, there's a certain number of ceiling tiles in this bag. Rajad installs zero point 0.5 of the total number of tiles in the bag. Then Monica comes along and installs 3/4 of what's left in the bag. Then Rajad comes back again and installs 33 and 1/3% of the tiles remaining in the bag. And then Monica installs the remaining 6 tiles. So, there are a couple of ways we can go about this. One, I could take a great big guess, okay? And so I don't know how many tiles there are in the bag, but let's just say that I'm going to say that there are 64. Okay, so we start off with 64, and then we take a look at what Rajad does. So Rajad installs 0.5, 0.5. So we know that 0.5 is the same as 1/2, is the same as 50%. Okay, so he takes half of them, which ends up being 32 tiles, and he puts them up into the ceiling, because 64 times 0.5 is 32. He puts them up to the ceiling, and then that means that there are 32 left in the bag. So that clue is done. Okay? And then Monica installs 3/4 of the remaining tiles in the bag. Now 3/4 you can think of as 75% or as 0.75, whatever makes you happy. So right now I need to know what 3/4 of 32 is, and I can change that to what is 75% of 32. Or I can multiply 0.75 times 32, and that is going to give me 24 that are being installed, and well, that's not right. 24 that are being installed and 8 that are left in the bag. Yeah, that is right, because 0.75 times 32 is 24. So that number is installed. 32 minus the 24 that are installed leaves me with 8. And now that clue is done. And now Rajad installs 33 and 1/3% of the remaining tiles, of the tiles remaining in the bag. Now 33 and 1/3% is a hard one to think about. That's a tough percentage. So we can switch it to 0.3, which repeats forever, and that's another awkward one. Or in fraction form, we can just call it 1/3. So he's installing 1/3 of 8 tiles. Now 1/3 of 8 tiles is going to be a messy number. It's going to be 2.33333333. So he's installing 2 2 2/3 tiles, rather. And that's going to leave him with 5 1/3 tiles left. And you can see that that's not where we want to be. I got 5 1/3 tiles. I'm supposed to get 6. So what that tells me is that my original shot in the dark of 64 was not correct. I got a number here at the end, 5.13, that is smaller than 6. So this number right here, 64, needs to be bigger. I need to start with a bigger number. So let's erase all of this and try a different way. We can try a different number, or I can try a different strategy. That was me taking a guess and working it through. And if I raised my number from 64 to another number, I would be closer to the mark. Okay? Now let's try something else. I'm going to focus on these, whoops, give me the pen. I'm going to focus on these clues right here. So, remember that I said that 33 1/3% when I convert it to a fraction is 1/3. So Rajad had some tiles. We don't know how many. He installed a third of those tiles, and afterwards there were 6 tiles remaining. So if he installed 1/3, that means 2/3 were remaining. But that 2/3 is equal to 6 tiles. So if 2/3 equals 6 tiles, then 1/3 must equal 3 tiles. Which means that Rajad, right here, where I've got the red arrow, Rajad started off with 3 plus 6, 9 tiles. So, where the red X is, or where the red, I'm going to just erase that and get rid of that. There we go. And I'm going to grab red, I'm going to put a 9 here, a 9 here to show us that Rajad had 9 tiles at that point. So now we can look back at what happened here with Monica. So Monica came along and she had some tiles in the bag. We don't know how many there were, but we know that she installed 3/4 of them. And after she installed 3/4, there were those 9 left. Okay? Now, if she installed 3/4, that must mean that she left 1/4 of what was there in the bag. And that 1/4 is 9. So now I want to know what 3/4 are. If 1/4 is 9, 3/4 is going to be 3 times as big as 9. 3 times 9 is 27. So when we put them all together to get the 4/4 that Monica had right over here, we see that she had 27 plus 9 is 36. So at this point, she had 30, come on, pen, 36. Monica had 36. Now let's take a look at the clue above, right here. Rajad installed 0.5, which is 50% or half. He installed half, and the other half was left in the bag, and that other half was the 36 that Monica had at the second clue. So he must have installed 36, and 36 plus 36 is 72. So we think we've worked backwards from the last clue up to the first clue, and we think our answer is 32. Now let's check. Let's just erase all this, and let's check pretending that the answer is 72. And if we get 6 at the end, then we know that we're right. So, 72. 72. Step 1. Rajad installs 0.5, which is 50% or 1/2. So half stays in the bag, the other half goes up to the ceiling. Half of 72 equals 36. So 36 tiles go up to the ceiling, and there are 36 tiles left in the bag when Monica comes along. Monica installs 3/4 of the remaining tiles in the bag. Now you can think of this as 3/4 or 0.75 or 75%. It doesn't matter, they are the same value. But 3/4 or 0.75 of 36 is 27. So 27 are how many she installed, which leaves 9 in the bag. And that's Monica done. Now the third clue is tricky because 33 1/3% is an awkward number. I prefer to think of it as, because 33 1/3% is 33 1/3 out of 100. If we turn it into a straight fraction, it's 1/3 of the whole. So 1/3 of 9. So if I break 9 into 3 parts, I get 3, 3, and 3, so that's 1/3. Each of those is a third. So one of those thirds, or 3 tiles, goes up to the ceiling, and the rest, which is 6 tiles, remains in the bag. And there we go. I've got 6 in the bag, which is what we have right here. So 72 must be my answer.